Are you ready to RPG? Hello everyone, welcome back to Swirlpool. This is the podcast for dads, by dads. I'm here with the Vortex crew.
Hi, I'm Grim Chorizo, and when I was a kid, I got shit on by a bird outside of George Washington's house. This legit happened.
The White House?
No, Mount Vernon.
Oh fuck, I remember that.
That's cool.
Is it? It wasn't that cool for me.
Fiend here, and I tried to do a Kamehameha wave this week.
So a normal week for Fiend.
Yeah, I mean,
earnestly?
Well,
I had to.
Results?
It didn't work.
And I'm Chris, and trees are trying to kill me with their sperm. And this is Swirlpool, and we're back here this week. We're going to be looking at a film that some of us, I don't think we're ready for. But first, before we get into the film, let's do show and tell. Did anybody try, listen, taste, do anything new this week?
Well, I guess not so much completely new, but I do kind of want to put it over because I think it's awesome. I just beat the Insane trilogy for Crash Bandicoot, which is actually going up on the Vortex of Crash Bandicoot Warped. And I just want to say,
Is that like the new one?
well, it came out for the Switch last summer, and I got it. It's got 1, 2, and 3, which are the 3 games that we, played when we were younger.
Well, isn't there a
new
Crash Bandicoot?
I'm sure there is, but I've only played those original 3. So I just
like the
thought it was a really
ones.
damn good remaster, or whatever. Really fun to go back and play those. The first game is hard as hell. 2 and 3 are not as hard, but, just really fun games, and makes me excited for the hope that the Spyro remasters trilogy will come to Switch as well. Cool. So yeah,
I just
kind of wanted to,
I heard those remasters are actually harder because they updated them, so it's like more, tricky with they're more accurate, so that when you go to jump onto a platform, it's like the box that you need to hit to land on the corner.
That's pretty accurate. Especially the first one. Especially the first one. Maybe it was from playing the first one. It was like I got better for the second and third, but the first one was so much rage. But the third one, which I actually recorded, and you can watch me play. I only really had issues with the motorcycle levels, which some of those are just ridiculously insane. But either way,
insane.
It was insane, yeah.
Aptly named.
Yeah, so if you haven't played Crash, I think that the Insane trilogy, which is out on lots of platforms, is a really good way to kind of try those out. It's not my very favorite game series ever, but they're really fun platforms.
There's a reason there aren't many games you jump at the screen.
Oh yeah, you jump at
You're
away
running
from,
the wrong
and
way.
sideways. Yeah, it's all messed up. But yeah, Crash.
I went and saw a movie recently.
Okay.
It was The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Right. Okay.
It was by Terry Gilliam. He's been trying to make this film for apparently
Gilliam of Monty Python fame, right? So the classic Python.
He's one of those guys.
He was the American one out of all of them.
He played what's his
Patsy.
He played Patsy.
He also did all the art for all the animation.
But so he made this movie, and he's been trying to make it for 25 plus years,
damn.
On and off, it just
never worked out.
Ending project kind of
production
thing.
hell or whatever.
Yeah. And but he made this movie, and it was really weird. It was fun. It was cool. But it was weird, because it was kind of like a movie based on him making the movie.
So it was
and then
multiple layers.
Yeah, and the
reality.
movie itself was weird because the guy, without saying much. Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
That'd be a good one to do for this. Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Because I even went into the movie watching watching it. It was blind. Yeah, it was one of the first things I never really knew what to expect from it.
Sure.
Kind of you kind of knew the story of Don Quixote or whatever,
right?
And then. But
this is a story about someone trying to make a Don Quixote story.
Yeah,
so it's
Was that the original idea? Was that he wanted to?
I think he originally wanted to make a movie about Don Quixote.
Then he made it about the
because of all the
after the movie, there was like a behind the scenes in the theaters.
Okay.
And like it talked about like making this movie. He already had these set locations like picked out like for like years since like when he first started wanting to make the movie. He had this like set location, and then he still used that same thing like when he made the film. It was like, that's crazy. Like that he kept the same.
So it's like the
and he had an armor set for Don Quixote.
Yeah, that like the classic Spanish. Like, yeah. With,
that he made on the first trial run, like a
like the pilot or whatever.
Yeah,
no, I guess not pilot, but like the test run.
Yeah,
like,
and he used it for the original film this film too. Yeah, you know, so it was
that's like, a long project.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, I was gonna say it's kind of like
props like that long. Yeah, and like. The fact that he still used the same
and the fact that he didn't give
original,
up on it, you know? It's kind of like the Chinese democracy of
oh my god, that is
Roses,
Chinese,
you know, 15 years.
Kind of.
I wonder. I bet the Don Quixote movie.
But it was really fun.
Yeah,
I recommend it to anybody that's a fan of Monty Python because, I mean, art style wise, it's definitely like
it has the vibe.
And for sure the way it feels like playing off the movie and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's story's good and like, yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. We should check it out. I think we should do an episode on it. That'd be great.
We should. Sure. It's actually on Amazon Prime, so
well, there you go.
And we can rent it for like a couple $5.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Okay, my show and tell is fucking trash. I'm so sorry. I tried a cosmopolitan cocktail for the first time.
Cosmopolitan?
A Cosmo, like the girly drink, right? You know, there's a magazine named after it where you can learn how to tickle your boyfriend's G-spot or whatever.
Hell yeah.
I tried one. It's fine. It's vodka with cranberry juice and triple sec, so it just tastes like an orangey cranberry with a little bit of vodka.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it was
a little bit. Did you make it a lot of vodka though?
It's 2 parts vodka.
But did you make it like 4 parts of vodka?
No, I mean it's pretty much all vodka, even without doing that. It's like 2 parts vodka, 1 part triple sec, so it's 3 parts alcohol to 1 part cranberry juice. So it's pretty much just pure.
I still probably would have been like 3 or 4.
So is it something you would drink regularly or not?
No, really? It's something that was nice. I enjoyed the shaking of the ice
process. Yeah.
Are you used a shaker? You're like
yes, and the ice, you know, it gets so cold, and I love cold like icy drinks. So that part I like, but yeah, it's just it's fun. It's fun. Okay, so we are here today to discuss a gem of a film. This is a film that I actually, I guess it came out in 2014. It's called Dark Dungeons, and it's based on sort of the satanic panic of the 1980s when Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing games, heavy metal, you know, Ronnie James,
all that bad, all that evil shit.
Yeah, all that stuff was corrupting the youth. You know, we had trials like in courts where, you know, you had like Twisted Sister and Judas Priest like going to trial for kids like killing themselves, and parents were, I believe they legitimately thought that these things were like making their kids kill themselves and kill each other and do horrible, terrible things. I guess we should
devil music.
Yeah, but in this case, this film is all about devil games.
Yeah, devil activities.
I guess first off, before we dive into the film, like, you know, I guess we should talk about. We all play D&D.
Yeah, we all actually play in the same
groups.
Groups. I mean, pretty much all.
We all love heavy metal,
right?
Yeah. So this is kind of we're a little bit biased.
Since this is basically a D&D film. Yeah, we all play. We basically all played D&D and RPG games together, basically through everything, you know. So we have a lot of experiences with that.
Yes, and on top of that, I'd say we all grew up in a environment that is sort of tinged by religious fervor, if you will, sort of a small town Christian upbringing. So
Bible Belt.
Yeah, Bible Belt. Yeah, like, so there's something about this film that is like, I think it
hits home a little bit.
I think it maybe, as funny as it was, there's a tinge of sort of, it's real, like there's a realness underneath it, and it's
like, wow, that was like,
interesting.
Like,
exactly.
It was like a really like, this is kind of too real, but
in a couple places, and I don't mean
it's hilarious because this is stupid as fuck.
And I don't mean Cthulhu Rising.
Right? No,
I mean the preacher. Like, it's almost
right. No, yes, for sure.
There's almost like it's there's this beauty of the film where it's trying to
the dark cultists are like
the
way they like talk or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck? Some of the things they say, it's like what the fuck.
No, I loved when they were oh my god, they were like, more people have chosen to be homosexuals.
Yes. I was like, what?
Yeah, but there's a beauty to the film, like just the overarching generalness of the film. Where,
sure.
Like in the film, the evil is all of this stuff, like all of these like these hobbies and things.
Right.
It's so interesting to me. Like I guess like the thing that resonated with me is just that I've experienced like the thing that was meant to be the savior or like thing saving the main characters was the thing that was the biggest antagonist in my own life, like from keeping me from just enjoying things,
So many things that
one of the things that kind of like threw me off though
was,
when they were like introducing like the whole like scene, they entered the house or whatever, and it was like a rave or whatever, and like dubstep was playing because like it changed dramatically.
We will touch on that big time because holy shit!
I honestly think with
that whole like scenario, I was like, what the fuck? Like, because like the way it was afterwards, it was like, those people wouldn't be with those people.
That is the beauty.
Okay,
what? What you just said, I think, is a huge point.
But the thing was, like, I don't know. It was fun. I went to like some dubstep shit. I mean,
but that's the thing was
but
it's lumping things in. What you just said is a point that I had written down in my notes was that the hilarity of the RPG players being like badass popular jocks and they're at raves and they're like in the jock with the Letterman jacket. It's like he's this like chaste like Jesus
he's
freak.
Like, they're not cool. Like.
Well, he's like,
stay away from them.
They're the popular ones, but
they're
like,
too popular. We can't get rid of them.
Yeah,
and they're walking down the hall, and it's like dun dun dun. There's a guy in a leather jacket.
Yeah, it was all like heavy metal and shit. But then like later, it went to this party, and it was, as I said, like dubstep and shit.
That is a huge part where I was like,
what?
this is hilarious. That's when it crossed over for me. That started at the very beginning.
I honestly think with this is the kind of thing.
But that's a great point.
That we should just run this. We should just run this thing down. I've got enough written to kind of like move this along, so we can kind of take it piece by piece.
Let's delve into the dark dungeon.
So this film, came out in 2014, and it's an adaptation of a comic.
Propaganda. Let's call
it. So when did the comic come out, though?
In 1984, a guy named Jack T. Chick, which I guess he made several of these, I think, like tracked.
So who is Jack T?
He's a super insane religious dude who made these propaganda comics.
Okay.
And
Christian
this one,
propaganda.
and there were about a bunch. I didn't read a bunch, but I read the Dark Dungeons one because I wanted to, see. It was like a 23 little section, or 23 page comic or something like that.
Right.
And so this film is based off that comic.
And all these comics.
So
go ahead.
With the film though, the film is satire.
Yes.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, we got to get that out of the way.
Yeah, this is
so it kind of like when I first started watching it,
you thought it wasn't.
Wasn't like because I remember when we discussed about doing this and watching it and then like reviewing it or whatever.
Sure.
I remember you guys mentioning that it was like a comic. That was like a real thing.
Yeah, but it's not like a comic like it's
like a real propaganda thing. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And
when
then
you think
like
comic,
but then
though,
like
it's not like X-Men or
it's
something.
Shit. Like
it's a pamphlet.
It's a pamphlet.
It's meant to scare people.
In a comic book format where it has panels,
you're
sections.
Right. You're right. Yes. But like and then I just had that in my mind, and then I started watching the movie, and I was like, "There's no way somebody could make this film and
believe this.
So make this film and actually think like that." Like
I know that's what.
That's when like when I realized that. I was like, okay.
I'm on board now.
Yeah.
But it's a little scary. The thing but what you just said that's insane is that I think some people maybe in the 80s during that time did legitimately believe that games like that and music like that was shaping the minds of the youth to turn to Satan.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like black magic.
I think it...
But nadays,
it honestly
not so
was a
much.
real
Like,
thought
I mean,
that
maybe there is some truth to that, you know, seeing as how I do love metal music. I love all sorts of things.
That's because it's awesome.
Fictional.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
It's
You know.
just, it's interesting.
But back to the origins of the story, like so this comic came out by this guy.
Chick.
I think we've all seen these types of like these pamphlets before, where usually it's like there's an innocent character and they do something that's like maybe it's premarital sex, or maybe it's drugs, or maybe it's RPG gaming.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure there's.
And then it ruins their lives, and then Jesus comes and saves them, and then that's the end of the story. And it's like a very short thing. It's basically propaganda that's meant to like scare people. You know,
so don't do this, don't think that, don't listen to this, don't watch that. Just Jesus.
Exactly.
And in this case, it's about RPG games, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So dark.
So Grim, you did some research. Is it safe to assume that the makers of this film they made this?
Okay. So I did do a little. I read an article, and one of the guys, J.R. Rawls. So he actually won a lottery for $1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And he was like,
"Congrats to that
what am I
guy."
going to do with this? And he decided he wanted to.
Wait, this film had a $1,000.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
He wanted to acquire the rights to Dark Dungeons so he could make a film adaptation. Because,
Hero.
you know, he's a D&D fan and stuff.
Yeah,
He just thought this could be a really interesting
premise,
film.
Yeah.
So he actually contacts Jack T. Chick.
No way.
For the rights. He offers, he's like, can I buy the rights for $1,000?
Did he explain what?
Chick actually gave them to them for free.
Wow.
He gave them the rights just for free because I think he was like,
oh my God,
he's like, yes, let's see this on the big screen. You know what I mean? Make this a movie.
No way.
So he gave it for free.
The beauty of
no
it,
lie.
The beauty of it, though.
Oh no,
is
that makes it even better.
I know, but the beauty of it is that yes, it's a satire, but they play the movie so straight.
That's what makes it so perfect.
Someone who believes this, like him, would just be like crying.
I know exactly.
And I feel like that point is super important about why this movie is so good, is better
and funny. Yeah.
Because so then it's not just this J.R. Rawls guy. There's other people involved, but he's the one I was reading about. Started a Kickstarter with a goal of $12,500.
That's still a small
They
budget.
reached $25,000, so they doubled the goal, and they had a decent budget for this, which is why you.
That's how they got that sick Cthulhu some pretty CGI.
So that's just a little bit of background.
That's very interesting. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So the dude. I mean, that is so interesting.
I thought it was so crazy that he got the rights for free after being like, "Hey, can I buy these? I want to turn your work into a movie." And he's like,
I almost like the guy.
He's like, you do it. Like,
so then
I will spread the message.
Yeah,
Jesus wouldn't.
Do you think he played it off like that? Like,
I don't know. Here's one thing I think about sometimes, and this is I gotta say I have no problem with anyone's religions as long as it's your own personal faith. I'm not here to bash people's religions or faiths or anything, and that's something that we're going to get into in this podcast because of the fact that the subject matter of this. But I do sometimes wonder with people like this Chick fellow, do they believe these things, or are they
capitalizing on it as a way to make money?
For sure. Giant preachers who are priests or preachers in massive churches in the South and fly on jets. I don't for a second believe that they believe anything that they're preaching.
It's all money.
It's all
personally, I think it's
for
all
sure.
money.
It's all manipulation, right?
Yes.
Do I think that some people who legitimately follow their beliefs and it helps them in their lives? I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah,
but I think there are a lot of charlatans out there.
I would say
is this Chick guy.
I don't know about Chick, but I would say there's a lot where it's a combo. Like it's like I believe these things, but wow, I can really capitalize on this.
Sure, that I actually think about that a lot, and it's one of the sad things about anything, not just religion, is that like So in this case, this is just another facet of that, where we have a guy. It adds another layer to the creation of this strange piece of art.
Right.
Yeah. So first off, I do want to point out, I thought the intro sequence was pretty sweet.
That was fucking sweet. The blood on the dice.
It was bloody D20s. It was kind of shit. Like, when you watch that, as a D&D,
they were just like throwing it at each other.
Yeah,
it was very like cheap.
Oh no!
And like
it was so funny. It was
and then it would change like CGI.
And I don't remember the music exactly in my head, but yeah, it was like this intense. Like if you just watch the intro sequence, you already know, especially as like a D&D fan and kind of into that darker stuff, you're like, this gonna be good.
And there's just the different colored dice.
But it's so funny. It'd be like throwing Pikachu and covering him in blood and just being like, Pika! Like, because it's just, it's harmless. It reminded me of like Reefer Madness or something.
Yes.
Where it's like, you know, like, let's demonize this thing. Right. It's literally just dice. And half of it half of it was like dice for like playing like poker or something.
You're right.
So, or like a normal game. Like I was just like insane, like how ridiculously over the top it was. That's when, for me, that was my moment where I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. Because you could just tell drenching polyhedral dice in blood as if it were like covered in the blood of innocence. Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sure. So this cult is together, and like you were saying, they're talking about how we've got.
Can we just talk about the cult standing in front of just vague Celtic knot designs? It's just
like
Irish
tapestries, just like hanging from the walls.
And there's probably like a cross on there. Like,
and another thing about the cult room, it shows several times. I noted it actually made me think of the newer Doom game.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you know, the cult, because
there's always like a symbol somewhere.
Well, it's the mix. It's the mix of the fact that it's like a kind of like high tech. You know, we got our TV screen, our computer here,
but they had a computer.
Bloody like cloths and like the symbols and stuff. So I thought that I was like, that actually really makes me think of the.
But super low budget.
Oh yeah,
they had a screen that was just like apocalypse meters, and it had like meters, and they started rising and stuff, and oh my god, it was so fucking.
It's like so goofy.
Yeah,
and they're basically like. They're trying to raise Cthulhu or whatever. I don't think they straight up say that there.
Well, not
there,
but later,
at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they're talking, about like...
It shows him, though.
No, but
it's like... it does. It's like straight up, he comes out of the ocean, he's like...
Yeah, it's like...
I was like...
He's like, sup, guys?
That was ridiculous. And it's like, by the use of homosexuality and tarot cards and...
Tarot cards was the funniest thing. It's like, tarot card sales are up this year.
Yeah. And then it's like, and RPGs, which is, the whole thing of
RPG.
Yeah, there's so much reverence and like when I hear RPG, I see my friends, myself, I see nerds like playing Skyrim or on Roll20 or something.
Like D2 or something.
And
like
in this
that,
exactly, and in this movie, RPG is just, it's such an evil, dark. It's almost like a forbidden word, like Voldemort, and it's so fucking funny to me. Every time they say RPG, and it just drips with like evil, and it's like, wow, man. Now, I just have to say, there is an element of D&D. It came from the 80s. There are demons in the books. There is an element when you're a kid and you're getting it. It's cool because just like I like Doom as a kid because it's dark and evil and spooky, or why I liked horror films and stuff. There is that element there, but it's all with the knowledge of it being not real.
Exactly. It's not
something ironically, it's the only real to the people who see it as
evil.
For sure,
But the people who are involved in it are like, this is just cool.
That is one thing to think about. Like, we always play these like weird demonic games or whatever.
But you play them out
but it's just fantasy. I mean, it is what it is.
And it's cool. Like it's fun.
It's
like
awesome.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah, I'll fucking kill some demons. What?
And half the time you're killing the demons.
You're the demon
exactly. You are killing the demons. Like.
So our two main characters are introduced.
Oh my god, I love them so much.
Debbie and Marcy.
They're like,
I want them to fuck so bad. I would do them. I wanted them to fuck so bad.
I thought they were.
Well, they actually had my gosh.
Okay, so there was a scene. Like,
yeah.
I was really like, ooh. Like, well, I think we'll get to it later on, but like.
Well, no, it was the. How much fun? How much fun could we have alone in our dorm room?
It was once she had her like. She found out she had like the witchcraft,
the real power.
The real power.
We'll get to that eventually.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We'll get to that part. But that whole scene, I was like, oh shit, like that.
Yeah, I know. That's
but
the thing.
It didn't happen. I was kind of disappointed. So
just having the chaste, like puritanical innocent characters, and I just loved how tongue-in-cheek they were with them.
And with their dresses and stuff.
Yeah, they're all Velma, like, you know, like from Scooby-Doo. But I just loved when they were like, one of, you know, which one was, Marcy obviously was into the other. She's like, no more boyfriends for me once I found out what he was after at the prom or whatever. And then it was so fun. I loved that so much.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
So yeah, they're the, you know, wholesome Christian girls who, they even say that their main reason for being at college was to spread the good news.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's like, who thinks like that?
And I don't think I think they're up their own asses at that point. And like, I don't want to psychoanalyze a movie like this.
Right.
It's not worth it. But I'm just saying, like, they're definitely there to go to college. But they're just, you know, they're doing the, like, Christian.
Well, also there to spread the good news.
Exactly. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's
we
like,
love
we're
Jesus.
here, we need to do our part.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they go to an orientation and they watch. This right here is when I question. I was like, what? When does this take place? Because they wheel in an
That
old...
was actually realistic, though.
Yeah,
because schools don't
that's
have
true.
funding. So
they
use...
wheel in this old
Yeah.
projector-like movie thing.
You remember, and even in the 90s, they
Yeah.
wheel
Well,
in
I mean,
a VHS.
fucking the projectors that we had people always drew on, like
The overheads.
teachers,
Yeah.
the overhead projectors.
Yeah.
Like those are even like
ancient.
outdated.
Oh,
Like,
for
what?
sure. Yeah, because now it's like all about, like, you know, you use a
The
fucking
smart boards,
iPad.
like,
or
the
something.
iPad.
Yeah. But no, it's
connected to a projector and like fucking on the wall. Like,
right. That film, though, the little satirical film was very funny as well,
Yeah,
because
it
they're
was-
like, and don't, now I have to, this brings up a point, this point in the movie, they're like, don't go into the steam
Steam tunnels.
The
And I'm like,
steam tunnels.
what the fuck does that mean? I still don't know.
idea. But they showed a
Well,
creepy ass
Freddy
door
Krueger-
that would have been like cool to walk into to get creeped out into. Like what? Like,
And a thing is, okay, I wouldn't
But
think...
hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, that's cool.
But I just want to say the steam tunnels in the movie's reality, monsters live down there for real.
Yeah.
right. That's true.
Like,
yes.
what the fuck? Anyway, go ahead. I just
All
want
I was going to say is, I wouldn't even think to go to the steam tunnels, or I don't even know what the fuck a steam tunnel is.
Exactly.
Until
No, but the door
on the
was
video
creepy
it
enough.
says, don't go to the steam tunnels.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, man,
That
I
was
want to
just-
check out these
Well,
steam
and
tunnels.
then you look at the door to the steam tunnels. It looks kind of
pretty scary.
dungeony and scary.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it looks like where a janitor goes to get
I
his
mean,
puke
it
bucket,
does.
though.
Like in
Yeah.
reality, yes.
Yeah.
But like as
Yeah.
a kid, I'd be like, "Whoa, I don't want to fuck with that creepy door." Like,
Right. Actually, now that you mention it, that door is what every door as me growing up. I'm like, I wonder what's in that door.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Like-
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
you're at
because it's like a weird
it's probably the boiler
shut
room
door
hence
that's
the-
locked.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like it's been opened ever.
Right.
And you're
Got
like,
that creepy vibe. You're like, I wonder.
I'm curious. What is behind?
Yeah,
that
and
door?
it's there's one in every single large building, like whether it's your grade school, middle school, high school, like college, like it's
and
just
then it's nothing. It's just like, well, that was kind of disappointing. Like,
yeah, it's just some maybe that's why it's called the steam tunnels because it's just like the water heater. Or
I think it
something.
was like
the
boiler room. Like,
maybe it's an inside joke for them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So this video, yeah, it's about clubs and organizations or whatever. Your typical, I guess, like, you know, college experience kind of thing.
Right.
And then afterwards, in the hallway, like you were talking about, the
fuck.
RPGers come down the hall. They're like the badasses, the cool kids, which is just hilarious to see the...
maybe that's
The art-
now that's the case.
I
But
think
growing
that's,
up,
they played.
no.
I think they played when they made the movie. They played
Playing up
to,
the
like,
current modern
the
thing.
current like.
Because now we got like Matt Mercer's
Pop
and
culture
we've got
shit.
we've got like cool like Vin Diesel plays D&D. We've got like all these.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, he always has.
But that's what I'm saying. So now we know that.
Everybody knows that,
and
and
Vin
now it's
Diesel
like,
was-
oh shit, he's like a motherfucking badass.
Right.
Now it's cool. Like,
And Vin Diesel probably was a nerd, and like he probably was.
Sure.
Like I have no idea, but I think also though the comic, the thing it probably showed the RPGers as cool kids, so we can't really base it too much on.
That's true.
Because
Yeah,
like they probably had like they were like bad boys, you know. I guarantee it.
with
Like
cigarettes.
because you can just put the rock
fucking-
music and the
Right.
and the D&D all in one evil
Right.
ball, and
When in
like,
reality, especially in the 80s, the RPGers were
God.
the, like, you know...
we've seen Stranger
super-
Things.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
Like the nerdy
Yeah.
guys and stuff, which is
So-
what we were, you know, so...
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, yeah, it's like RPG. Basically, what it's saying
go-
is like RPGers or RPG is like drugs. It's like
Right.
you know
So
what I mean?
naturally, what is the first thing these two young innocent girls do? They go to a party thrown by the RPG people.
Yeah,
Right.
And as they're walking up to the door, they're like, this will be a perfect chance for us to spread the word or something.
And that was where the line was like, we could have been home alone in our dorm. How much fun could we have had?
And then the other girl laughs. It's like, yeah, how much fun? It's like,
and
obviously that was.
And that's when I wanted them to fuck. But this was the point where like Fiend was bringing up where the rave happened.
Rave. Yes. Yeah, so they walked into the house, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like this full-on like rave frat house, like
they've got solo cups, like they're dancing.
Crazy lights.
Like, yeah.
There's nothing to suggest that a D&D game will happen at this point.
Yeah, I thought at all. And it played on the fact that they were like the cool kids or whatever.
Right.
Not to interrupt, I thought, just from watching the movie, obviously there's not a whole lot of background to go off of. I thought they went to this party not realizing there was going to be RPGing taking place. I could be wrong.
Well, I didn't realize that either.
I thought they went there just because it's the cool party, and then they announce it, and they're like, and they even give each other a look like, oh, it's like when somebody you go to a party and you're like, someone's like,
I guess let's
get the weed, and they're like, oh, should we?
Let's get the heroin, and you're like,
oh, that's what that's the vibe I got from the RPG thing. Is that
I didn't think about it that way.
I thought maybe they didn't realize that this drug of RPG was actually going to be here.
So yeah, like they're at the party. I have to say, literally nothing would like kill a party faster than pulling out a D&D. Like,
right, oh shit.
Like, hey everybody,
we're gonna play some D&D.
I know you're having fun dancing, listening to dubstep and drinking and getting crunk and all this shit, but I thought we could run Tomb of Annihilation. Who wants to join? You know what I mean? Like that would just fucking destroy.
Like the music literally stops. Like doom.
It literally did. It went and the guy was like, "All right, it is time to commence the." And that was the Nitro guy.
The main event.
So yeah, he literally said main event.
He said, "Now it's time for the main event. Right. Are you ready to RPG?"
And everyone's like, RPG.
Right. And I was watching this actually on a day off, and I was just up early at like 7:30, laying in bed watching this, laughing because there's a group of like frat kids chanting RPG.
Right.
That's
RPG. I'm like, what? In what real world would this happen?
None.
Zero. I mean, obviously, I would chant RPG. I'd be like, hell yeah. But most, normal college frat kids would not.
Which leads to the most hilarious thing where, like, this evil, like, sort of, like, dark, like, ominous music is playing and they're putting a DM screen on the table. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, there is nothing scary about putting a cardboard blinder on the plate.
Right. It's so intense.
Oh my gosh, like the seriousness behind it.
Yeah, it's so
can we talk about
fucking
this?
funny.
So yeah, they set up the game and all the party goers. So imagine this. Like you said, you're at a party and you're drinking, you're tipsy, you're drunk, and then you're not taking part in the RPG. You're just fucking watching.
People do that on Twitch, but I'm just saying.
I just thought it was hilarious. I mean, such a big group just watching all these people.
I'll say, I was at a party and we started playing D&D. And,
but did you have 30 onlookers or whatever?
Chanting
exactly.
Like one or two.
Can you imagine how weird that would have been? Like,
but it basically, we just, instead of playing the game, we got drunk and so
fucked around.
Play the game.
Well, yeah, it's like get drunk, play D&D. It's not going to happen together, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And if it does happen, and one is going to be worse off than the other.
Right?
Like,
no shit. Yeah.
Been there. So, they start this game up, and Marcy and Debbie are invited to play. They're like, "Are you too scared to play?" And they're like, "We're not scared. We could try it just once." And we have to point out, one of the main characters, Mistress Frost, is the DM.
Oh, fuck,
right?
She's the best.
She's like the evil, the true villain here.
Bad. She's awesome.
She's the DM. And so they sit down and play. Marcy plays a character named Blackleaf, a thief. And Debbie plays a cleric. Of the shadow. You're right.
Of the shadow.
Of the shadow?
Of the shadow? It said it like shadow. It was like 3 times. It was like, of the shadow. Of the shadow?
Yeah.
Of the shadow.
Like, and it just like kept going.
Yeah, because she was like, of the shadow. And she was like,
well, she's like,
shadow?
Can't believe it's
of the shadow.
It was like a great comedy bit.
Because she was like, oh, that sounds cool. And she was like, what the fuck's the shadow? And she was like,
You'll see. You'll find out.
And Debbie plays a character named Elf Star, which I think is kind of a funny name. That's like literally being called Human Star. I mean,
I'm Human Circle.
Elf Star.
I mean, because there was like, what was the other one?
Well, Blackleaf and Elf Star. It's just like
it's like a thief and a cleric.
Yeah, cleric. Yeah. So they're doing this game, and it's kind of like montage where it's showing it's fast paced.
It's like Community D&D. But where it's like.
But one thing I noticed, because we play D&D, and I'm curious what kind of campaign or session they're doing here, because the players were dropping like fucking flies.
Yeah, no shit.
It was written in the 80s.
Like literally, it was like, let's sit down and you die and die and
I was kind of like watching the board. I don't know if it was like trying to play off of the game, but like. I don't know how some people play D&D, but we've never played D&D like that. I was watching the placement of the characters on the boards, and I'm like, we would not all be in different rooms in this dungeon.
Yeah, like, they were splitting up,
They were all in like different locations on the map. Not that most people would probably pay that much attention to detail, but like I noticed they were all spread out in the dungeon, and I was like, well, we wouldn't fucking be in that room alone, and they're all just like dropping like flies.
That's what I noticed. They were characters were dying, and then their little figure gets tossed into the fire.
Just crunched in the guy's hand. And
that was okay. I have to say that was obviously for cinematic.
Oh yeah,
but there is an element of reality there, because back when D&D in the 80s and when
it was like supposed to be like
it was so much more hardcore.
People like took it so too real. Like there was the myth that like D&D was like so real that like whatever happened in the game happened in real life.
That's the Christian aspect. But what I'm saying.
Like that was a real thing. That wasn't a joke. That was like a.
But dungeon masters in that time period, though, were out to kill their it was because if you play, there's certain campaigns that are made in the style of those, and it's all about. It's just brutal. Like there's traps in every room. The trap is lethal. You don't get a save, you die. Like, do you put this hand in that hole? You're dead. It
just chopped off your hand, and you have no way to like bandage yourself.
And so the DMs
you just bleed out. And
exactly. So it started. D&D did not start. The D&D we know is more of like a storytelling, like collaborative, improvisational storytelling game where we all have characters with backstories and we want to play them out. Like a movie.
It was more like let's go through this fucking dungeon.
It was dungeon crawling. It was like roguelike. Like it was like it's like the DM is the enemy and he's trying to kill you and you are out. So that was why
you have to strategically
that explains
kill
a little
him.
Bit more.
I think that's why the scene was like that. It was like an ode to that.
Sure,
because the comic was from that time.
That makes
period.
sense, and it also kind of, for someone who maybe doesn't understand D&D and kind of makes a little bit more sense.
It's easier to understand.
Characters dying and stuff. Yeah.
Like it's dangerous. You could step on a pitfall and fall and die, and now your character is gone forever.
Yeah, it's supposed to show how dangerous it can be. So
I was level 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck! So the game, that session concludes, and I think the best line of the movie.
Oh, that's debatable.
That was the best RPG I've seen in 15 years.
That was
okay.
That was really
good. That was pretty good.
I laughed so hard at that. so straight face.
He was my favorite
Nitro.
dude. The dude, what was it?
Nitro, I think.
Nitro was my favorite. Holy shit.
Because he's like,
he was so into it, and he was just like the big like bro and like the wife beater, but he was just like so into the RPG, and he was
who he is, guys. Throwback to last year, a game we did on the channel. He's Frank from House Party.
Oh my god,
sure.
How's it going, dude?
Except
do you want to play some RPG?
His thing is he isn't straight edge, he just loves RPG.
He did. Oh my god. Oh, what?
How's it going, dude? Want to play some RPG? So the girls go back to their dorm and they're just thinking about. All they can do is think about RPG and D&D, which is actually accurate. As D&D players, after the session, you're always thinking about it. Oh, I can't wait to play. So maybe it is kind of like a drug.
Well, it's not that it's like a drug. I will say
the best drug.
I wanted to point out that there are things about this where there's a montage where they're failing their classes. They're ignoring they're ignoring their real life things. This is not indicative of just D&D and role-playing games. It's indicative of anything in your life that you enjoy. It can overshadow everything else. That to me was actually very realistic in a way. But obviously they play it up to the point where it's not realistic. But that was one thing I'm like, that's something to think about. Like maybe we can take that away, that we're outside of the satirical, you don't want you can kind of take away from it that maybe it's best to, all things in moderation. That was like the one thing that felt like sort of realistic about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that, yeah, like if you play a D&D every night till 8 a.m. or whatever they were doing, it's going to fuck your life up.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like you can say that about anything, though. You can say that about going to church.
That's true. Anything.
If you worship
stay
Jesus
up
all night
and, don't do your homework,
you're
going to fail.
Yeah,
exactly.
So Debbie reaches 8th level, and she gets invited to actually learn the real power. So I've played a decent amount of D&D, but I've never reached 8th level as a character. We did a campaign where we started as level 20, but I've never reached level 8. So
let's be real. On one of our campaigns, we are level 6.
So we're almost 8th, but what I want to know is this what happens at 8th level? Because holy shit.
I am down to learn some fucking magic.
I'm a spellcaster.
As the dungeon master.
Me too.
Yeah, so we're going to get to learn the real power.
As the dungeon master of that campaign, I can tell you,
that's real.
You are going to get... you're going to have to kill each other, though, like fight to the death. So just be prepared for that.
I'm down with that. I'll kill you all.
Shit happens. So Debbie is invited to, because she's 8th level, Marcy is not. She gets invited to learn fucking magic. Like, actually learn magic. It shows her doing magic.
That moment when she's like, and like elven...
when it showed her meditating around in a room
and she's instantly way hotter because she's wearing
she's
goth.
She's
like Stevie Nicks now, and it's like, okay, so you just literally just immediately go all balls deep into being like a witch or something.
Right.
I thought that was so funny. That moment was when I made this parallel in my head. Like, you can tell me if this is bullshit or not. But this movie felt like a 1960s era. There's like a secret coven. It was like a horror, like a schlocky horror film where one of the characters gets indoctrinated into a witch coven, and her friend is kind of no,
that's basically exactly what it felt like.
It was just like the blood on Satan's claws, or there are so many movies like this because they just copy each other, and this movie was almost verbatim that. But instead of witchcraft, I mean, it was witchcraft, but it was veiled under D&D.
Right.
It was just so funny to me because it felt like you could have showed that, and it's just like a horror film from that time period.
Yeah. So Debbie uses her magic outside of the game in real life to make her professor help, make her pass the class.
Right.
And she goes and she's so...
That was the montage that I was thinking of.
She actually uses a spell on her professor, which I mean...
And she's the best part was how'd you pull it off? And he was like, how did you pull it off?
It was he's I really...
don't understand.
I don't understand. It's almost you're a fucking witch.
And she wrote the paper. It was a history paper, but she wrote it about
her fictional
vampire
D&D vampire
enemy
character.
or something. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I liked that part.
I was I was that's kind of cool. She was so sucked into the game that she wrote a history paper about that.
Right.
And she got an A+ on it.
And afterwards she's
spell.
And afterwards she's
that. It was kind of cool because she did that. I was well, that's cool.
Yeah, that was I liked that part of the film. That was fun.
And I do want to point out the professor. I mean, I'm not to be stereotypical or anything, but looking at the professor, he actually looks like someone who might play RPGs.
I know.
He's a bigger,
same with the jock who wore the Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
He looked like a guy who was abso-fucking-lutely.
A little scrawny guy.
Yeah, he plays D&D and his character.
That's why it's kind of funny.
The roles are reversed. The big jack dude, you were talking about, Nitro, is
which was probably maybe done by design, honestly.
I think it really was done by design.
It had to have been.
That's the satire. That's the brilliance of the film.
little things that,
Yeah, for sure.
So Marcy wants to reach level 8 as well, obviously, and Debbie wants something a little harder. So they talk to Mr. Frost, and she invites them to the next level.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about this.
Next level.
Yes.
LARP. What's that? LARP. Live action role play.
Yes.
No! So,
oh my goodness, this part was awesome.
That was
I was oh my god, they are going to LARP. What
LARP.
The fuck?
And that was not in the comic because LARP didn't exist. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But that's what's so funny is LARPing is I'm sorry, I think LARP is cool, but LARP is lame as fuck.
Let's be real, we kind of basically did that.
Oh yeah,
we were
more violently when we were younger. Yes.
God, we can't prove this to you, listener. I wish we had pictures, but we did some fucked up shit.
Really fucked up shit.
I was a third grader.
Medieval Times, we did that. But when we were 10 to 14 years old, with sticks, metal rods,
metal fence posts look like swords, and they make a cling when you hit them.
Yeah, and you know what? They also make a crunch sound when you hit someone on the hand and you break your finger.
Fucking ankles
or
No, we made
their face. Like I had a bloody fucking face because of that.
Yeah,
we were some tough kids.
I remember. Fiend, a dowel rod that we were using for an arrow. Someone shot it. It snapped and it broke and went through your
fucking lip. My top lip.
Jesus. It went right through the lip like a piercing. Like
we had some wounds.
It was brutal.
I got a bruise.
This is fucked up.
I got a bruise all on my leg from a hockey stick that was supposed to be a club
or a halberd or something.
Yeah, and
then see,
this is
why don't do this, kids.
We were literally
parents, get your kids real weaponry so they don't have to use them.
Yeah, get them real LARP weapons that are foam swords.
The true thing is, let your kids play D&D.
That's what I'm saying. Let your kids LARP. Because those LARP weapons are foam swords.
Exactly.
Not metal fence posts.
Yeah, so we have been in the LARP scene for a long time before it was a thing, and it was not good.
Jousting on our bikes.
Can never forget jousting on bike.
That was so bad.
So we go into this room. It's basically like, a dream for like nerdy cosplayers who want to like LARP. Obviously, it's got all the costumes and weapons and stuff. Everybody gets dressed up as
hanging
their
off
characters.
But here's the funny thing about it: it was just a costume rack.
Yeah,
but there was a skull hanging off it. That made me laugh.
That's true.
But so they get dressed up,
and they're told that if they break character, they'll be banished from the game. So it's hardcore.
That was actually hardcore. Yeah, because if you think about it, they've spent they've basically sacrificed their life, like their real life, to play this game. So imagine being told that part. Actually, kind of. I wouldn't say it's realistic, but I think if you put yourself in that character's shoes, okay,
right,
you're failing out of college, right. You have no real friends other than the people in that group.
Yeah, this D&D session is like your life.
Ironically, it's like being excommunicated from the church.
Yeah,
and
that's actually true. Yeah,
it's like very weirdly like adjacent
parallels
to that.
There. Yeah,
yeah, and guess what happens if that happens? You're going to hell. There's nothing left to live for.
Shit.
Yeah,
and guess what happens?
So actually, around that point, it's actually revealed that the cult is trying to raise Cthulhu.
And that Cthulhu's real.
Okay, yeah.
And Cthulhu the badass, by the way.
You know they're doing some dark shit, but it's revealed right there that that's what they're doing.
And that magic is real, and that everything that you thought was just like kind of like funny is
magic is real.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the guy who tried to do a Kamehameha.
That's what I'm saying. You duh.
You're not 8th level yet.
Damn it.
Just keep practicing.
Keep working on it.
Shit.
Keep training.
So Mistress Frost is told by one of the robed cultists that one of the girls has to kill themselves to complete their ritual. Yeah, they have to kill themselves. And I have to say, it is so funny seeing these robed guys who are all, super intense and into this, talking on fucking walkie-talkies.
That's the 80s thing.
But it's so funny.
Like computers, all that stuff was like, it was like Illuminati-esque.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
But it just looks so funny.
It is super funny. Also,
Mrs. Frost! Over.
Roger. Oh yeah, and she had the in-ear, the in-ear with the microphone.
Yeah. The headset. I will say, as a fan of Lovecraft, I mean, this is pretty accurate too. There's always has to be a willing sacrifice.
Right.
That's like a common recurring theme to raise Cthulhu is someone has to follow through by their own accord. It has to be like a willing sacrifice. I guess, and so that was kind of cool. But
yeah, that's true. So Marcy gets attacked by the fucking Nitro dude, as dressed up as
gear,
like a
Dark Nut from Zelda or something. Yeah,
so he comes down and just tackles her basically.
He's like, "This is real."
So then she's like crying basically because I guess it's really intense.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my god,
being assaulted."
I'm so
scared. Yeah, this big dude is holding her down.
There's an axe on her neck.
And then Debbie.
But Debbie,
I have a question.
Excuse me. Elfstar. Not Debbie. By this point, she is Elfstar. She can't
go out of character.
She can't be out of character.
I have a question.
I don't know if we brought that up, but at this point, they can't be out of characters or they will be banished. Did you mention that?
I did.
It's part of the rules.
I have a question here.
So, Elfstar.
Yes. Is already... So, Mistress Frost says, Debbie, or Elfstar, you can't help or you'll break character because she's already fighting a zombie.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's my thing. DM question. Chris is a dungeon master here.
Refer to me.
So, let's say Elfstar is in combat with a zombie, but there's also her friend, ally, is being attacked by this other creature. Couldn't she, without breaking character, choose to attack the other thing attacking Marcy's Blackleaf character?
Two things.
A little confused there.
Yes.
Why is that breaking character?
It's not. It's a narrative like thing in the movie.
Well, yeah.
But just that aside, they were in separate corridors, entirely different rooms. So my thing, it didn't...
See, that was my whole point of bringing up the whole, like...
Right. It actually didn't make sense. If I was going to be picky, it didn't make sense for her to even know. I took it as she kills the zombie and then hears her friend crying that she's dying, so then she would run back.
I figured they were all in the same room. But
this is how nerdy we are.
Yeah. Well, but also brings back to the point where I always noticed like they were in different corridors.
They were supposed to be...
But at that point, I figured they were in the same room.
Because remember, she said, I think we should split up to cover more ground.
That's true.
So I think it was like they went down a T line.
That makes sense.
So that's our super fucking nerdy. That's my DM chime in is that the zombie was in another room. What's her name? Blackleaf would have heard. Elfstar
would have heard.
Elfstar would have heard Blackleaf struggling after killing.
Fighting the zombie.
Yeah, after killing the zombie, it would have been too late. So we've made sense of the script. Okay. We can move on.
I will point out though, from actually reading,
it all happens at once.
From reading the comic, the old comic, that is legit in there where she's talking about you're already fighting the zombie, you can't help her. So that's obviously why that line is in there.
I think they didn't
want to change.
It's so funny too.
Yeah, they didn't want to change that line, so they're like, "You're fighting the zombie." Because I was like, "It's just
the people who made this film are geniuses, and I think that everything they did.
Agree.
It is a great film.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that fight is over, but Marcy, I guess Blackleaf, is shot by a poison dart just out of nowhere.
Bullshit. That is bullshit DMing right there.
Yeah, that's like a DM just trying to
no save, no perception roll, nothing.
I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
But that was the point because she got the call and she said I can make sure she kills herself.
Yeah, she needs her to die.
So hence taking away her entire new identity from her, which is what I was just talking about. If you strip all that's left for Marcy is Blackleaf by killing her mercilessly, she can make sure that she will be a sacrifice for Lord Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Brilliant writing. Brilliant.
So this was actually like a kind of a sad moment here because...
It's legit kind of sad.
The whole part is legit kind of sad.
I think this has probably happened. I don't know.
So her character dies, and I mean, obviously your character dying in D&D is sad, but like you said, this being basically her whole life, so she... And Elfstar, Debbie cannot break character to even comfort her. You know what I mean?
They've both been...
So, she fucking kicks her out of the house. So she's like, get the fuck out of here.
She's just like, get out. You know, you're not.
Yeah, it's like
here.
you don't
have friends anymore. Sorry.
Well, it wasn't even. It wasn't that.
I mean, it was basically that. It was basically like I can't talk to you because I'm in this D&D and I can't break character ever.
Elfstar is so terrified of losing her newfound powers,
right?
That she's like, I will abandon you as a friend.
Sorry, we're not friends.
Don't ruin this for me. Like, get out of here.
I'm fucking magical, bitch.
So
like exactly. That's right.
So then Marcy goes home. And Debbie finishes it up. Yeah, Debbie comes home and finds.
Yeah, not only does Marcy go home, she hangs herself.
And there's a suicide note in the printer, which is straight out of the comic as well. It's shot for shot. It says, I don't remember exactly. I should have wrote it down, but
no, it said.
It's like my life is nothing without Blackleaf or something like that.
It was my fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's my fault. It's my fault. Blackleaf's dead.
Yeah. So
she saw it as she was already dead. So why should she go on?
Yeah, and that was straight out the exact shot there from the comic.
It's so fucking good. Like they nail even the like kind of cursive font. Like
exact font. I believe
it's the exact same font. They probably asked what's his name.
Yeah,
Chick, Mr. Chick.
Yeah. So Debbie's back at the session and Mistress Frost straight up reveals that Marcy was just used to read from the Necronomicon and kill herself to help summon Cthulhu. She basically just flat out says,
face value, just like boom.
She's like, well, she's already dead, so fuck it.
Yeah, she's like, and you're alive and you're magical, so what are you gonna do about it? You still have your powers.
It felt like a Marvel film where like the hero found out that their powers were like being used for evil. And now they get to own it.
Yeah.
But the difference was in this, like she's not gonna own her powers. She's gonna abandon them completely, right?
Yeah. So that's when she goes down into the steam tunnels. She wants to, I guess...
The steam tunnels.
So, Why did she go down to the steam tunnels again?
Okay, this is what I remember hearing. Okay, now tell me if you guys heard something different. She said, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to slaughter and, excuse me, and destroy, like, it was like she just wanted to, like...
Destroy the evil or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, it almost just sounded like she was being rebellious. It didn't really have a real strong reason to me.
Well, it was more of just the fact that it wasn't, other than that video.
So she fought a Gwar member.
Yeah, she was down there. So she was down there, and she got, like, sucked into something, right?
She fought the monster looked like a bunch of raw beef, is what it looked like.
It looked like Odorous Arungus.
She was like,
Gwar.
oh no, I'm stuck. God help me. And then fucking, like, flash of light. Like, holy
lightning
smite. Bam, motherfucker, I just smited the shit out of you.
But before that, she did cast a fucking magic missile in real life.
That's true.
She did.
In real life.
She did cast magic missile.
Can we just talk about... I'm sorry.
Was that like when she first entered the thing?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Okay. So she's running around, and I was laughing because there's these camera shots, and it's showing nothing. You know, it's like dun 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 dun, and there's nothing there.
She's like, oh god, magic missile.
Yeah. So, but can we just talk about... Okay. Would you let's be real here, Cthulhu aside, okay, would you throw away everything if you could do legitimate magic and you knew that these monsters and stuff were real? Wouldn't that be more... That's like...
Yes.
You would want to keep those powers to fight evil. That's like a Sabrina the Teenage Witch
because
thing.
you don't know what else is out there.
Who wouldn't?
She gets down there. There is a that's not Nitro in a costume.
Yeah, that's fucking scary.
In the movie, that was a monster.
Shoot magic missiles.
It's a beef monster.
I don't know what type of monster that was by looking at it. Like maybe it's like it wasn't like an obvious D&D monster that I've ever seen. It was kind of just like a weird
beef.
Yeah, it was like a beef monster.
It literally looked like
ground beef.
Ground beef that was kind of started to cook. Like you cooked a little bit of it.
It was an undercooked. It was
like
undercooked burger.
Right.
Yeah,
I can see that.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
So Debbie runs back into, I don't even remember his name, Mike or Nick or Chad or Billy. It's probably Christian guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, Debbie, RPGs are evil. Only God can save you. Come with me to this meeting.
You can't fight RPGs, or you can't fight evil with RPGs because RPGs are evil.
Oh,
and it's such a great line.
Yeah,
like,
so she goes...
You can't fight evil.
Evil! So she goes to this, a different type of cult meeting. And
that's what you just said is exactly what I was thinking. Is basically from one
cult
to another. Exactly. Yeah.
There's this preacher, and it just feels just so. So he's
too real.
Yeah, he's
too real, people.
And
Harry Potter.
Yeah. So then they do a set like a.
Hold on though. Before that, he literally says this. Okay, now I have to just say this is a peek into my past. He literally says. You know, like this, what a perfectly timed sermon as well, that it's dealing with the evils of pop culture, and she's just dealing with it. It's like, give up your charms, your dice and dungeons, take your Pathfinder books and throw them in the fire.
Hallelujah!
Take your Harry Potter books, and rock and roll music, and all the works of J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, oh!
Well, that's the thing that's so funny about that to me was growing up, a lot of the people in my life who were Christians, but also not total shitbags, they were like against witchcraft because, there was this weird panic, like radio hosts are telling them that your kids will be corrupted by this stuff. Yeah. But there always was this thing where like, well, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are okay because J.R.R. Tolkien was a Christian. So it's fine. Right. And C.S. Lewis, he was a Christian, and Narnia is just about Jesus, like Aslan's Jesus. So that line specifically made me laugh because it was like, that was the loophole that got me into fantasy growing up because my first real book was The Hobbit, like right before Lord of the Rings came out when I was like, 8 or something. So I have to say, thank you to the people in my life who were Christian, but not that insane. You might have gotten rid of certain things, but like the loophole for, like the technically still Christian fantasy was there. So, but that line was like, it just made me laugh. Like,
and then they do like the
burning,
ceremonial burning, which I have to say that shot, of seeing Pathfinder and D&D.
And they threw a fucking Harry Potter book in there.
Yeah, the Goblet of Fire.
Was that a real Harry Potter book?
Yeah, it was sad.
You can't just fucking burn books like that.
Well, and
isn't it illegal to burn literature like that?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, we have banned book like that. Well, I think it should be illegal, but it's not.
I thought it was at one time, was it?
Maybe it was, but my thing is, the thing that was fucked up about it.
Burn a book like that? What the fuck?
It was hard to watch. It was sad.
Well,
but I mean, it was
they burned
sending a
Pathfinder,
message.
They burned Harry Potter, they burned, and then she hands the Bible to him. The thing that hit home to me was
she handed the Bible to him.
My grandparents gave me and Grim growing up a Harry Potter book. It would have been our first like real foray into young adult fiction, and our parents threw it away because literally, because it was of that time period when all of the televangelist type people that were. Like, I didn't get into Harry Potter, and Harry Potter, it's not even that. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's just a harmless, fun little romp, you know.
Right.
And it deals with fun things. I didn't see
takes you through the emotions like
it's just a kids movie.
Yeah.
So I didn't really see a Harry Potter movie or read a book until I was like 16, and by then it was like, and I'm like, I could have enjoyed these, like, you know, it just would have been. It's just one of those things where you're like a harmless thing being demonized and villainized. It just I get you. I think they put Harry Potter in there because that was probably some of the people who worked on that film had a similar.
For sure.
I remember in school, our English teacher in grade school, she was reading us Harry Potter, and then one week they just stopped.
Certain parents
complained. Yeah, like the kids said we're reading Harry Potter, and the parents were like, "I'll have none of that." None of that.
No, you can't do that.
So I
think
there's something real. I mean, as funny as this film is, there's something sad.
I mean, you
about
gotta think of all the banned books that there are out there.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. And luckily, those books aren't banned. They are just frowned upon by certain circles. But that scene was actually it didn't. It's not like my heartstrings were being tugged, but it was just like I was like, wow, that's pretty. It's pretty heavy, you know, like seeing
it could definitely hit. In the right spots.
Yeah, sure. What else got burned in that fire? There was a Pathfinder book.
I remember seeing C.S. Lewis and
her character book, you know.
Oh,
her drawings and stuff.
Yeah, like what the
And that was another thing, I'm like, that's like sad. Like, because in reality,
like
nothing
away
memories and part of you, like your expression, your
creativity. Your creativity and shit.
What I took from that was stifle everything about yourself and your creativity and things that make you special and get rid of them and just submit to Jesus.
Replace it with the Bible.
Yeah. Right, which I think is a brilliant, beautiful ending to that film.
Yeah.
I mean, was that the final scene?
I think it was.
I think it kind of...
I think it was.
When that happened, though, it did show the meters on the computer.
Oh, no. They went back to the fire, and they all held hands together, and then it, like, faded out.
Can we talk about, though...
That was, like, the most cultist shit of all.
That was, I think, so purposeful and so...
Wasn't that at the end of the film?
Yes. Okay. And I think it was to show that they're worshiping like a god, like a fire god, kind of. But can we talk about though
they're when fucking worshiping a demon? Like,
yeah, I mean you could argue, but you know, like something more dark and sinister, really. But the burning the things, and then they're like, the stars aren't right, and the computer's going, and Cthulhu's like, and he like falls down, and then the castle explodes. It just goes,
oh, it does just explode
because they literally have a clip art Dracula's castle, you know, and it's my god.
That was pretty creative blowing up.
Oh, it was so fucking funny. Yeah. So for me, I have to say this film was great.
It was definitely great.
It was great in a weird way, though. It's not great in the same way.
It was great.
It's a funny film. It's not meant to be. It's lighthearted, but also it touches on some really dark stuff. And the dark stuff to me is the religious sort of tones of it, not so much the
RPG.
The RPG factor.
Right. That's not the bad thing. You know?
That's why I would be very interested to hear what Mr. Chick thinks of it.
Well, he's dead, so...
Oh, fuck. When did he die?
I think he died in 2016.
He saw it and died.
How old was he?
Did he kill himself? God, that's horrible. I'm sorry. He saw Dark Dungeons.
Does he kill himself?
Yeah. Like, he wrote a letter and it printed out and said, it's all my fault.
Shit.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chick. I wouldn't say I don't know anything about you, but...
We're getting a little quick lowdown here.
Yeah, we're getting a little too...
So how'd he die?
He died in his sleep. That's all it says.
How old was he?
92.
Oh, shit.
Oh, jeez. He nothing to complain about.
Yeah, he lived a full life.
He lived a great life.
Full life of propaganda.
Yeah, I mean...
Fuck. So if he was 92 in 2016, so how old was he in 84?
Don't make me math.
84, basically 20 years younger, like, so he'd be 70-something.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He was old as fuck then. He was old as fuck then.
He probably was racist. He probably hated black people. He probably beat his wife. I mean, just being real. If you're 70 in the 80s, like, you probably did all sorts of fucked up shit. Yeah. Fuck you, Mr. Chick. We loved your movie.
Damn.
It was great.
But it was a pretty good movie.
Thanks for the rights.
Yeah, thanks for the rights.
Free rights, yeah. So I have to say, we don't have it's not like Roger Ebert and Siskel. We don't have like a 2 thumbs up.
Right.
So what should our rating system be?
I don't know.
How many swirls?
Oh yeah, swirls. That's a good one.
How many swirls?
5 swirls seems too easy. Should it be like 7 swirls or something?
But 5 and 7
out of
is almost
7,
the same.
like 7 being the max.
5 and 7 is like the same though.
Yeah, you're right, because they're odd.
Yeah. I think a max of 5 is pretty standard.
So how many swirls do you give this, Grim?
You can do halves too. If you
like a point whatevers.
Yeah.
I give it 4 out of 5 swirls.
That's pretty damn good, yeah.
I think that this was a... Well, why don't you guys give your ratings?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, give us your thoughts.
And I think that, as we mentioned earlier, for one, it's just a great film to watch. I think the fact that we are D&D players and RPG,
we were the target audience.
People,
yes,
I feel like we got something even more out of it than just a casual viewer watching that.
Yeah,
the thing is, when you watch that, it kind of seems like the type of video that, honestly, we all remember them in elementary school. The videos they would play, basically like, don't do drugs with like a bit of a backstory.
Watching
don't have
Dare,
sex.
doing Dare or something. Yeah.
It feels like that. This movie, which is what it's supposed to be.
They play it so straight.
The best part about it, like we said, is the fact that they could have taken the route where they're making fun of the comic.
Yeah,
but they did instead.
Because the cultists the whole time were always like,
they were bumbling.
We've got them under our control. Like, we will convert.
Yeah, they could have made it like a comedy movie.
One of them could have tripped over his robes and like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but what they did instead is they did it straight, and it's funny because they did it straight, because of the content itself is so funny, stupid itself, and the fact that somebody would actually believe that's what makes it funny, is that as a watcher you can be like, I cannot believe someone would actually fucking think that playing RPGs would make you fucking summon Satan or Cthulhu.
Right,
That's what makes it funny. So the fact that they did it straight is genius. It's a great movie, 4 out of 5 swirls. Which I guess, I could just give it 5, but I feel like I can't give it a perfect, because there's,
It's still dumb.
Yeah.
But literally everything he just said is exactly what I think.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I have nothing to add. Like... I would say, maybe 3.5 or 4.
I was gonna say about 3.5. Yeah. Only because
it's not a brilliant. It's brilliant in its own funny way.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's not perfect. It's not the best thing. But it was
what they did with that budget though. Like
definitely.
It's the type of film that I think you could. What you summed it up. It's the brilliance comes from the fact that they showed restraint. And they did an almost perfect recreation.
I'm serious. You guys need to read it. It's not even that long.
It's been a long time. I have read
Just read the thing, and you'll see it. The shots are basically like it follows it exactly.
Sure.
Obviously, the movie gives some more, fills in some holes, because I feel like the movie, it's them basically at the session. That's
right.
It gives a little bit more.
Right.
And I will say, there's maybe 2 to 3 points where they break. They wink and nod. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple points where it feels like it was breaking out of the, it's not just a straight satire, and they're making fun of the content that they're, and that is the perfect amount.
Right.
I can't even tell you. It's something that that Marcy says. Like, she's just like, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that outfit or something? I think that's what she said. Or how are you doing that with your voice?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that moment, that was a funny moment. Like, that wasn't in the comic, obviously, but those moments for me were telling me, okay, I'm not insane. This is a joke, Because he comes out and he's like, I am Tiamat.
Oh yeah,
I will destroy.
How are you doing that with your voice?
Boom, and like
this
nailed
is real.
It felt like Scott Pilgrim. You know what I mean? Like that was so. I have to say, yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Swirls. I'm so sorry.
Swirls. 3.5. Swirls. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, you guys are 3.5 and I'm a 4.
So we're averaging out about 3.75 or 3.5, and this was like just
at 3.6.
Yeah,
5. Like.
It was a great fun romp. Even people who don't know anything about D&D other than just cursory knowledge would probably get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And the only people I think who might not enjoy it are hardcore right-wing Christians.
Or maybe they'd love it.
Or they'd love it.
They might love it.
And that's the thing I think we've learned today.
So they kind of made a win-win movie here, you know?
What's the difference between satire? This is the thing I find a lot when I'm making fun of things. What is the difference between a hard...
It would be funny to find out if some like church played this in like a Sunday school setting and like...
It's probably happened. It's probably happened.
I'm just thinking about it. Makes me crack up. Like, what?
Makes me sad and crack up. Well, everyone, that was Dark Dungeons. It was dark. It was dunge. It was funge. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. It was fun to talk about too.
Complete.
Yeah.
You know, we did the dungeon.
We reached level 8.
And we all know about that real power now. We're all experiencing it.
That's
and
right.
You, our listeners, know all about the real power.
Ourselves, so, I mean,
ooh, yeah. All of our listeners, I cast a spell of mind control on them, so that's the only reason they're listening to it.
That's true.
But yeah, thank you for listening. We are the Vortex on YouTube. You should check us out. Do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, so be sure to check out the YouTube channel, the Vortex. That's kind of the whole reason of the basis of where this podcast comes from. So, got a lot of videos on there, lots of different games, different types of content. We'd love you guys to check that out. We are also on Discord. You can find our Discord. It's linked in the description.
YouTube.com/Grim Chorizo with 2 M's.
Thank you.
GRIMMCHORIZO.
Yeah, that's the link. The Vortex was taken.
Discord is like up in the like little
if you go any of the descriptions of the videos or in our banner, be sure to join that. If you want to follow the Vortex on Instagram, we are Enjoy the Vortex. You can follow me on Instagram at Grim Chorizo. And we'd love to see you on the YouTube channel.
Yep, and I'm Chris. You can follow me at Zompire Wolf on everything. Not everything, some things.
Most things.
And Fiend is on our videos, so enjoy us all on our videos. So
that's right.
Keep on swirling, and let's get ready to RPG!